AEW has reportedly offered Bandido a contract, while the company wants Juice Robinson on television as much as possible, leading fans to wonder how they'd fit into the big picture. Both men made their debuts for All Elite Wrestling on the September 28 episode of Wednesday Night Dynamite and impressed Tony Khan so much that he wants to make them a consistent part of programming. While they stood out in their one-off appearances, there's reason to be concerned that they'd get lost in the shuffle upon joining AEW. Robinson has a tremendous built-in history with several members on the roster already. Despite them already wrestling on Dynamite, there's a fantastic long-term feud to be had between Juice and Moxley. He also represents a forbidden door of sorts, given his Bullet Club connection. No one in AEW was an active member of NJPW's Rebel faction, and this could open the door for interesting tag team or six-man tag matches down the road. He's 33 and still has a ton of high-end wrestling left in the tank, so Khan's interest in him makes sense. It's fair to wonder how Robinson would emerge from AEW's muddy mid-card when so many other standouts have failed to receive proper booking over the last year, though. Khan's desire to ink Bandido checks out on the surface level too. He had an excellent match against the Ocho in Dynamite's main event and lived up to the billing every step of the way. If Chris Jericho ever lost, there'd have been some real tension as the match reached its conclusion. The near falls were outstanding, and if the Philadelphia crowd had been more familiar with Bandido, then the bout would have been white hot. Despite that, the odds of him getting lost in AEW's noise seem more significant because the company already rosters several performers like him. High work rate luchadors who can't seem to buy consistent airtime on Dynamite or Rampage. Bandido and Robinson could shift recent history just because there are a handful of disgruntled wrestlers currently in AEW doesn't mean that Robinson or Bandido would be doomed to the same fate. It's the most likely outcome, given how tough it's been for mega-over acts like FTR to get on screen, while Andrade Alidolo remains on the bench for no discernible reason. The odds of standing out and carving out a path towards more title and main event matches got a bit longer recently, too, with AEW announcing that Rush had signed a full-time deal. The hope is that, eventually, Raw will have its own show and Khan will be able to spread his roster across two brands. He still has access to Dynamite, Rampage, Dark, and Dark Elevation, and struggles to piece together more than a few long-term stories or pushes for wrestlers at a time. Utilizing Friday nights more effectively would take a ton of pressure off, but this doesn't seem to be in AEW's plans at this juncture. Signing Bandido and keeping Juice Robinson around seem to be, however, and it'll be interesting to see how things progress with those two in the coming weeks.